Okay, so this was our first lesson on berkoff. This was one of the first exercises we had to do where we had to lay a table. The whole idea was doing it with staccato and defined movements, which were the two key aspects that we've been learning about, and the two key aspects that we learn about in berkoff style. So we were set the task of just laying a table, making sure that the two characters were interacting. They didn't really have any names, just to sort of show some sort of interaction and characters, because berkoff used a lot of like characterization and gestures, but it was more physicalized, as I talked about previously. So this is a couple of people's. I'm going to evaluate a couple of people's in comparison to mine, and then I'm going to evaluate mine too. So the idea was the table was between the two chairs. Many people did this differently and working in pairs. So you can see how the movements are quite synchronised. Obviously there was a little bit of confusion there with Bella's movement. I think that even if there is some hesitation, that berkoff style you can't really afford to do hesitation, I'm finding. I think that because we're looking at the whole idea of being defined in staccato, I think that there needs to be more definition, so I think that that's something we're going to work at. All the movements are very defined and clear. I think we need to be more in line with the music and better. This is a bit slow, but I guess it works with the second. I think this looks quite good. And the fact that the movements are quite synchronised. There's not a lot of interaction, just sort of smirking, but it's just a bit of interaction. Then we move on to the next couple. They're a lot quicker, a lot more in sync as one. I think this is quite good. Timing at the same time I think works really effectively. I don't know whether this would work is the same in their style, but I think it's a good exercise in terms that it looks good as synchronised. I'm going to skip forward a little bit. We had last character interaction, but I think it still worked pretty well. They've actually moved the table. There's the character interaction, and that the movement is still quite defined as well, so I think it's pretty good. This is less so. This interaction, but I think it's less staccato and defined. I like the difference in the speed that they've got, so they've got slower movements and quicker movements, and that's what provided a contrast to all the other groups so far. And then I'll skip to mine and Joel's. So we tried to make everything quite defined, so that everything was clear, because obviously it's all to do with mine, because there are no physical objects here. we needed to make sure that everything was defined so they knew exactly what we're putting down. I think every group's done really well so far in the fact they put down glasses and things, and I don't know how this is going to come into the actual doing the play, because we're not going to be doing something like this, but if we ever have to do any mime, I think the whole idea of it is that it's got to be clear and over exaggerated to the audience, and I think that's what we're looking at here specifically. We tried to time this to music, I think it worked really well, and at the same time, so even just moving around like fixing the back. This we did accidentally at first the stepping backwards, but I think it worked really well because it showed the character interaction. So that was just some of the different contrasts that we looked at, and this first look into staccato and divine when it came to Berkoff.